Hello, beautiful people. It's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video from the Whatever podcast. Let's check it out.
All right, so we have Jane Fonda. You're going to have to move us to the... Jane Fonda claims she's only interested in young lovers because she doesn't like old skin. 85-year-old also revealed she is... Okay, that doesn't... Next. And then this is from the New York Post. Why ashamed Jane Fonda, 85, would only date a 20-year-old lover. Now, we have the clip. Nick, if you can pull up the next one. And then full screen. All right. Oh, wait, Nick, there's something up there in the corner. X out of that. Okay, go ahead.
You have to click block sometimes.
That's fine.
I'm ashamed to say this, but if I were to take a lover, he'd have to be 20. Really? Oh, yeah.
Wait, no, then, wait, hold on. No.
She's ashamed to say it.
Start from the beginning. Video tab, please.
Excuse me.
I'm ashamed to say this, but if I were to take a lover, he'd have to be 20.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Now, why specifically 20?
Because I don't like old skin. I don't.
I'm right there with you. I'm doing everything I can to keep it fresh, but yeah, old skin.
That's it. So, going around the table on this, she, a 85-year-old woman, she says she's only down to date 20-year-olds, adult men, right? Any objections? Do you guys object? Any objections?
That's crazy. I think
Your
that's
reaction,
I think that's
objections?
weird that she seeks that out. That she's like, that's the
Go ahead.
yeah, that's the only like men that she finds acceptable. Like she doesn't like old skin. 20 isn't like that's way young. Like there's
Okay.
a lot of ages you can get.
I think it's kind of weird, but in my brain, it doesn't seem as wrong. But then I think about it, and I put her. If it was like a man saying it, I'd be like way more taken aback. I don't know why.
You said it doesn't seem as wrong as what?
As like, for example, since she's a woman, she's saying it, and she's saying that she'd only take like a 20-year-old because of their youthful skin or whatever. In my brain, I don't know why. In my brain, it's like, okay, you know, work it or whatever. But then in my brain, put a man saying that, and it was just like, ew. I don't know why there's that.
So it's not as bad as if it was a man saying.
I think it is equally as bad.
Okay.
But in my brain, I don't know why I don't like.
Well, when you
feel that way.
intellectualize it,
Yeah.
perhaps you can like think about it, and then it's as bad. But your initial like knee-jerk reaction is not as bad as if it was
Correct.
the reverse.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you go girl, right? You go girl, right?
Yeah.
What about you?
So, it is totally acceptable if an 85-year-old woman says she only want to date 20-year-old. It is acceptable for a woman, but if it's a man, it is creepy. You see, let me get this straight. So, are we still living in a man's world, or now it's over to the women? Because talk about women's privileges and how it is totally acceptable for a woman to get away with a lot of things, but if it's a man, then it's ill, it's creepy. Mm. I sense some level of hypocrisy here. Or what do you think?
What about you?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think that it's totally okay to have preferences. It's not really something that I could see myself being into, but it's legal and it's a preference.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I want to start by referencing my previous debate with Andrew. According to his logic, there's
can
nothing
put 'em
wrong
on.
with that. That's fine. It's legal. Let them be happy. Do whatever makes them happy. But I personally, the only reason a 20-year-old would get with an 85-year-old, regardless of which gender is older or not, is for money. Like, they get married, they're gonna die, get their inheritance, whatever.
Maybe.
But I personally think it's weird as fuck if an 85-year-old, woman or man, only wants to date 20-year-olds because of tight skin. And I mean, yes, I find that extremely icky. Morally, I guess there's nothing wrong with it if it's legal, but I do not think in any scenario, any person, what is that, more than 4 times someone's age should be wanting to have sexual relations with someone.
I think your math checks out there. That's good. All right, we'll come back to that. What about you?
I kind of agree with Esme of like,
it would definitely be a lot. I feel like I would cringe if it was a guy saying it with a younger girl, but it's still weird. It's a 60-year, like, all for dating up, which no matter what the gender, but it's definitely a weird gap.
If you don't think about it, it's like, yeah.
I think it's kind of like up to preference, which I'm sure, you know, a few of you have said, but personally I feel like it's just robbing the cradle, and I think it's kind of gross and icky. Like it just I hate that word.
I hate that word so fucking much.
It seems like just nasty. There's no reason to it. And yeah, it's legal, but what's the point? You're kind of just taking away from somebody's life for your own personal gain, your own personal, you know, lust. So that's my opinion on that.
So let me get this straight. So some people think it is preference and are cool with it. Have people really lost it, or are we living in a different world or different times? Because none of this is making sense. Let's even give it the reverse of the case. If you were a man that was saying this, and we have to be honest, I don't think anybody on this panel or this table would even say it's preference. Nobody would say that. But because a woman said it, it is preference. How is it preference? How, in what way is it preference? One is an 85-year-old doing with a 20-year-old. 20, whether legal or not, what is an 85-year-old doing with a 20-year-old? It doesn't even make sense. For those people who think, oh, it's preference, I just don't know. But I mean, it is weird and it is wrong. We have to look at it both ways. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Okay. What about you?
I think that the age difference, like the age gap, is pretty extreme. Do you want me to repeat myself?
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty extreme. That's like your grandparents' age when you're 20, if not even my grandparents.
She belongs. Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay. Accidental click. What about you?
I don't oppose to age gap relationships. So.
Wait,
I mean, I preferably would not myself, but I have no opposition to anyone who prefers to be in an age gap relationship.
Can I press you on that a little bit?
Sure.
So you're 19 years old.
Yes.
So if there were 85-year-old men saying they only want to have sexual relations with people in your age group, how would you view those men? Would you view them
exactly
as weird,
how
or
I viewed this 85-year-old woman only wanting a 20-year-old man?
It's just preference. What if a woman is
So
like, I only want to date a provider? That's preference. It's a
just didn't know.
preference.
Like I said, I don't think it makes a difference if it's a man or woman. Honestly, past 70, your brain is like that of a younger person anyway.
Oh, so it's like a full circle kind of like.
No. I didn't say it. It's still weird as
Horseshoe,
fuck to
maybe.
date someone a quarter your age.
Because I think previously I don't know if you were making
I
this
turned
argument
you out on this
of
topic,
like,
Malik.
I don't know if
Now
you were
you have
making this
completely
argument, but
180.
you were saying something along the lines of, well, the prefrontal cortex is not fully developed until you're 25. But like, couldn't you then make the argument, well, does it equal out?
It depreciates after 70.
Does it equal out if they have Alzheimer's? Like, if they're dating somebody with Alzheimer's, is it now a little more like equal playing field? You know,
You know what?
Crazy.
I'm gonna say sure. Sure. To
Okay, so it's like no go between like 30 to like 70, but after 70, there's probably enough mental decline where it's like, it's probably fair.
Honestly,
It's fair.
you're gonna call me dumb for this, but I think the 20-year-olds would actually be in the wrong for trying to take advantage
I was
of the
actually
older
about to
people.
say that's a thing.
Yeah,
you'll
I
have these
think-
young women who will like go after these people who are like incompetent, basically. And they'll actually try
her
to like.
last day.
It's actually, I
Yeah.
think, a crime. It's like elder abuse.
Yeah.
And they'll try to like siphon money.
So
basically.
So crazy.
So I'll say, and I'm just throwing random numbers out, okay? But I'll say between 40 and 69, if you're looking for younger women, you're a bit weird. But if you're 70 plus and you're hooking up with younger women,
Good
like
for
you're
you.
senile, the younger women or younger men are the ones in the wrong because they're taking advantage of older women.
Can I make a
They
point?
could be.
Of course,
Not
go
always.
ahead.
Thank
valid.
you. Your point is also really silly to be like, oh, the prefrontal cortex isn't developed till 25. It also starts going back at 40, so they're equal. They're equal.
Oh.
I use that in addition to life experience. I said that I think maybe the minimum age of consent should be raised after certain age gaps. Like, I don't think someone fresh out of high school who's 18, who has no life experience whatsoever, whose brain is not fully developed, should be in a relationship with 40, 50-year-olds.
If we have to be honest, just as it is wrong for a man, an 85-year-old man, to say he only wants to date 20-year-old girls, it's the exact same thing with a woman, an 85-year-old woman, to say she only want to date 20-year-old. It is wrong. Just the exact same, a woman or a girl would say, oh, she only want to date providers, only providers. Is reading Gold Digger with the capital letter arrow for behind, because we say to say this because lots of women at the back of their mind, when they say they only want to date providers, they go for sugar daddies or older men that wants to date that would pay for the services. And people that are conjuring or that don't understand what this other lady with the half part of the face, uh, half part of the paint face said, 18-year-old girl dating a 40, or a 40-year-old man date, or 50-year-old man dating an 18-year-old girl. It doesn't even make sense. I mean, like, regardless of age gap or whatever, that is wrong. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to look at the exact same way. It is wrong. An 18-year-old date, just picture it for a moment. An 18-year-old dating a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, people would say is abuse or whatever. So how do people really think that 85-year-old and 20-year-old is okay? It is preference. Does it even make sense? It doesn't. And honestly, with the way things are going, it looks like it's about time to raise the legal age, because what the hell is this?
Wait,
Yeah, so let me ask a question, if you don't mind. For all the women on the panel, if you don't mind raising your hands for this question, how many of you can say with confidence that this scenario gives you the ick? Just raise your hands if it gives you the ick. Okay, we got basically everybody. It doesn't give you the ick?
I mean,
Over there?
that's your whole thing.
Yeah, I thought that was
It does, but it's not that bad. It's
Okay.
It would be so much
No,
worse.
no,
if
with
she
Jane,
was-
with Hanoi Jane here and a 20-year-old, does it give you the ick?
I'll say sure.
That was all of you who raised your hands, basically, right? Okay,
I
there
didn't
we
raise
go.
my
All of you
hand.
raised your hands.
No, I
Now
also,
raise your
I mean,
hands
we
if
have
you
to
haven't.
look at,
Okay,
like,
not
I'll
you.
take the hat,
Okay,
by the way.
doesn't give you the ick.
but we also have to look at what the situation was. It wasn't about dating; it was about lovers. So
Hang on. I've got a second question, right? For all of you who did raise your hands, right? Even though it gives you the ick, do any of you have a moral objection to it? Raise your hand if you have that.
My ick was not about the
Wait,
age
you
gap.
have a moral objection
No.
to it? No, not you. I'm sorry, gal in the black shirt. You have a moral objection?
I do. I just feel like it's like, because in this scenario, it's not about dating. It's about it's about lust. It's about sex. So it's not. I just feel like, in that sense, you're, like I said, you're robbing the cradle. You're
Yeah,
it's preference.
how do you know it's about lust, though, if they get married and they fall in love?
But she's not talking about marriage. She's talking about a lover.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, in that case, I'll concede that moral argument, right?
Yeah.
If you just get a lover, but I would concede that regardless of the age.
And
differential.
I'll agree with you in the sense
So
of
then, in the sense of just age itself, do you have any moral argument against it at
in
all?
that sense, no. Well, my sister's dated, or she's 32 and she's married to a 69-year-old. So yeah, so but
no
see,
moral objection.
Yeah, so in that case, I have no moral objection to that, because they're married and they have a baby together and they're happy and they're in love. But in the sense of it's coming for just sex, just lust, I do have a moral objection to that.
Yeah, I do too. So I'll concede to that point. Any of the rest of you who raised your hands, do you have a single moral objection to this? An
Okay.
actual moral objection?
I don't know if this is moral, and I'm not saying her specifically, but like I said, the only case where I would see it wrong is if the person is senile and cannot capably make mental decisions for themselves, and younger people are taking advantage, especially knowing they have money.
Yeah, but that makes no sense because
okay,
if it was a 20-year-old dating a
Grid 1
dono,
Motorsports
Andrew.
donated
$25-year-old
$100. My wife is 11 years younger than I am. We started dating when she was 23. I strongly urge young men don't marry until 30 plus and established, and to date in the mid-late 20s range for success and happy life.
Good for you, Grid.
Yeah.
I agree
so anyway,
with that.
back to that, Malik. It would be the same regardless of the age gap in that situation. Anybody dating anybody else who was senile,
Andrew?
you would have a moral objection with, right?
Andrew, I do not give a fuck how old someone is if they're having sex. I'm against casual sex and hookup culture in general, so I don't give a fuck how old they are as long as they're legal age. Our argument last time, which we're piggybacking off of, was the fact that older men specifically only want to marry and be in relationships with women fresh out of high
Did you
school.
ever figure
But we
out
don't
a
need to
moral
get into
argument
that
to
again.
yet, or
What
did
was
you ever
that?
figure out a moral argument for that, or no? Are we still not there?
We can move on from that. We can move on from that.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I did, but I don't want to. I know last time we argued about that for almost 2 hours, so I don't want to reopen that can
all
of
right,
worms.
fair enough.
Wait, do you have that same position in this scenario? Like
No,
the
because
older
this
woman...
is about casual sex. I said, if anything, the 85-year-old's the victim.
Okay. Okay.
But
I think this.
I don't think
Sorry,
it matters.
I thought you
It's
said
casual sex.
this one was less icky for some reason.
It is because they're senile. And they're just looking for sex because they're about to die within the next I don't know how many years, and that's really fucked up to say, but it's true.
Wait,
Like
the
they're
lady in the
living
video?
out, they're living not her specifically,
Oh,
but
okay.
85-year-olds are living out the last years in their life. If their last wishes before they die are to hook up with younger people, let them live their life.
And what if the 40-year-old doesn't know when he's going to die and he wants to have sex with a 20-year-old?
Then he can do it.
Okay, so
I just said I don't think 40-year-olds should obsess for specifically women fresh out of high school. That was my argument last time.
Come on, Malik, you wouldn't give the poor guy a single Hail Mary, or like, it's the end of his life. It's what he wants more than anything else. You wouldn't just
Look,
cut him a
there's
little
plenty
bit
of
of
whores
slack?
who would. I'm not one of them, though.
No, you wouldn't give him any slack at all?
Fuck no.
No?
I would date up to 10 years older than me, but I'm also almost 25. Like, I'm not a child fresh out of high school.
No, I get it. I mean, I agree with you broadly that
We agree on
just,
a lot, Andrew. You just like
you know,
arguing with
promiscuous
me.
sex is bad. I'm just saying, at 85 years old, if a dude who has tons of cash is like, oh, I want to do, you can at least understand it, right? If Hanoi Jane can say it.
I'll hand him off to someone I know. I'll meet someone. I'll wingman for him, okay? If an 85-year-old man his dying wish is to have sex with a younger woman, I will wingman for him, but that will never be me.
Well, no, I didn't say you had to do it. What the hell, Malik? I didn't say you specifically had to do it. I was just
said,
saying,
would you
like,
not give
you can
him-
at least understand
you said,
why the
would you
guy
not-
might want to at 85, right?
Yes, I did. I just brought up that point. You're just rephrasing my point and trying to use it against me.
Yeah, so concede it, since it's your point.
Okay, sure.
It's not surprising that lots of the women on the panel or lots of the ladies on the panel don't see this problem, see it as preference or whatever, even if it's a dying wish. Come on, an 85-year-old with a 20-year-old is wrong, all shades of wrong. I don't know what is wrong with some people's brain, but it's wrong. The same as an 18-year-old with a 40-year-old is wrong. We have to be honest with ourselves, because don't think it is okay because it's consent. I mean, there are so many ways to look at it, but if you think it is preference and nothing is wrong with it, then something must be really wrong with you, and you know what is wrong with you. It seems like we've completely lost it in this society. The fact that people accept what is not normal, or think that what is not normal is okay, because none of this is okay. And yeah, there are some limits, or there are limits to age gap, but not this. This is far, 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 far above age gap. This is almost like abuse in so many ways, if you want to look at it. So it's wrong. But again, modern women seem to not have an issue with it because it's a woman. But if it were a man, they would have an issue with always or every way. So make it make sense. It goes to tell you the place or the position they are at in the society. But I really love your thoughts in the comments down below. You can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.